Real estate is not hard. Let me say this clearly, especially for those of you who are like new in the business, and for those of you who are actually seasoned, but maybe a little burnt, or maybe not hitting those sales goals that you keep setting every single year. This message is for you. I've been in the real estate for 2 decades. I have done it the hard way for 10 years, and then I did it a much easier way for the second 10 years and earned all my freedom back and earned a lot more money along the way. And I'm here to tell you, don't struggle through another year. This business does not need to feel this hard. So my real estate truth in the first 6 months in the business, so over 20 plus years ago, I hired a coach. That sounds like a smart thing to do, right? That coach had only sold real estate for 1 year. And then they opened up a big coaching company. And yes, did I get a little bit of results? Yes, I was taught to call FSBOs expireds, grind every single morning and hustle nonstop. But looking back, I made 2 massive mistakes that almost every real estate agent out there is probably making. Mistake number 1, I followed the wrong model. Why would I take advice from someone who had sold real estate for 1 year when I was trying to build a 20 plus year business? What you learn in 1 year versus 2 decades of being in the business is like not even comparable. And for those of you who are listening that have been in the business for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, you know that an agent that's been in the business for 1 year has no idea what you learn along the way. Longevity teaches us something. 1, what actually scales, what burns agents out, what creates wealth versus commission checks. You have to be in the grind long enough to know what actually works. Mistake number 2, I built a cold, fragile business. I built a business that 100% relied on me every single morning from 8 to 11, then lead follow-up, and then pre-qual, and then going on a bunch of FSBOs expired appointments. And I can tell you, anyone that has done that year after year after year, you will burn out. It's not enjoyable, and you hit a cap. I hit a cap of it between 250 to 280,000. I hit a cap of what I could actually earn. So again, calling from 8 to 11 a.m., constant lead follow-up, pre-qual, showing up to appointments that oftentimes didn't convert, or maybe they weren't pre-qualified. And even when deals closed, the cost was massive. The time, the energy, the emotional burnout. So let me give you a real example, like right now within the last 6 months, a real student example. One of my current coaching clients, he was a rookie of the year, incredible agent, built his business primarily on FSBOs and expireds. He's really good at it. But after working together for 6 months, he came into my office and said, Jess, I spend 3 to 5 hours a day on cold business. And I finally tracked my last 6 months like you told me. And here's what shocked him. Less than 30% of his closings actually came from cold business. Let that sink in. He spends 3 to 5 hours a day on cold business. And that does not include the appointments he attends. That is just prospecting. And less than 30% of his business actually comes from that. He was spending the majority of his time on lower ROI activity in the business. And the rest still came from referrals. This is where most agents get it wrong. We all hear this all the time. Run your business like a business. But most agents, including myself, for years, don't actually do that. They run it like a sales job, not like a business owner. Just more contacts, more appointments. That's great for a salesperson. Is that like a business owner? No, there's ways to work smarter. There's ways to scale faster. When I finally looked at my business through the eyes of more of a CEO, everything changed. And I started asking different questions. Where is my highest ROI? What is predictable? What compounds over time? What creates actual freedom? What builds wealth? What is my gross versus my net? That's when I found a coach who had built the business I actually wanted, had done it for decades, still had balance, still had wealth, still loved their life. and created so much wealth along the way. I carved off years of struggle. The two decisions that changed everything is decision one, I started to follow people who had done what I actually wanted to do the way I wanted to do it and had long-term success in it, not a year or two. No hype, no shortcuts, not one good year, sustainable success. Decision number two, I stopped running my business like a salesperson and started running it like an actual business owner. And that shift alone increased my income by 3-4 times net, reduced my hours, created predictability, built long-term wealth. The systems you are missing. Here's the truth. Most brokers won't tell you. A lot of coaches won't either. The foundation of your real estate business is your database. And that is, I'm not talking about past sales. That's part of it. So if you're a newer agent, you can still work your database, not social media trends, not chasing the next lead source, not cold calling all day long. Your database is your highest ROI asset, your most predictable income, your long-term wealth engine. The question is, how are you staying connected in a way that actually deepens relationships, adds value, not just monthly emails no one reads, generic touch plans, just checking in texts, but real value, real connection, real separating yourself from the competition out there. We all know everyone knows 8 to 10 agents. What is setting you apart from those agents? If real estate feels hard right now, it's not because you're not capable. It's because you're missing a system and you're spending your time in the wrong places. I've been there. I've done it. You don't need to grind harder. You need to build smarter. I have lived both versions of this business. And if you are ready to stop struggling and start building something that actually lasts, this is your year to change how you run your business. Be the agent that succeeds at a high level, that's predictable, that lasts a long time in this industry. If you have received any value out of this video, please hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up. And if you are serious about increasing your income, creating systems, and leveraging and scaling your business, book a call with me today and let me see if you're a good fit. Here's your next video.